Hi everyone, welcome back again to my YouTube channel. So today we're going to be learning how to make this beautiful dress. If you want to learn how to make something like this, please keep on watching. So guys, I've gone ahead to cut out my pattern on my fabric, okay? This is my center front area. You can see I've gone ahead to fuse in with my clothes stay and also my wadding. I'm making use of a medium wadding, no hard wadding, sorry, I'm making use of hard wadding. All right, and I've also gone ahead to cut out my lining pieces as well. So guys, I have the pattern drafting tutorial. I'm going to be linking that to this video, okay? Now, the first thing I'm going to do is to go ahead and join my bustier. I'm going to join side front to center front on both sides. And you know how I join from the waist all the way going up. For the back, you can see I'm going to have to cut out my pattern pieces and as well transfer my darts. So I'm going to go ahead and stitch in my dart and also iron it out, which is very, very important, okay? So guys, you can see how my cup is looking. It is looking so beautiful. I'm gonna head to iron out where I stitched. Make sure to notch and then iron. And you can see how my cup is sitting properly. So guys, if you followed the pattern drafting very well, you should have your cup sitting like this, okay? I've also got ahead to do the same thing on my lining piece, and you can see how well my cup area is also sitting there. So guys, you can go ahead and fuse your lining with a cloth stay as well. I didn't do that for mine, but you can do that for yours, okay? I've gone ahead to also stitch in my darts for my back pieces, and I went ahead to iron these out. I did the same thing for my lining pieces as well. Please make sure to iron, which is very important. Now, these are my yoke pieces, okay? I have my yoke on my main fabric on the chantilly net that I'm going to be using to cover the main fabric and also my lining piece. So guys, I have this lace border, okay, as you can see on the style that we are recreating. So what you want to do is place your chantilly on top of your main fabric yoke and then place this lace border on top of your chantilly, just like I'm doing like so. And then I'm going to just go ahead and cut out the excess. Now when you are done with this, you're going to use your lining piece and place on top. You're going to be stitching these three together. All right. So make sure that the head of the lace edge is facing inwards before you place your lining piece on top. Okay. So that when you turn everything around, it's going to be looking something like this. I'm going to do the same thing for this other yoke as well. So guys, I'm going to go ahead and stitch this out on my sewing machine and of course iron it out properly. And yeah, I am done with stitching it and you can see what it's looking like. The next thing I'm going to do is to join my yoke to my bustier. So what is going to guide me is my dart line, okay? I'm going to be putting this yoke directly on my dart line. So I'm going to start from one dart line. I'm going to pin all the way down to my armhole curve. And then I'm going to also do for the opposite side, pin from my dart line all the way down to my armhole curve, okay? So guys, this is what you should have when you are done with stitching this out. Can you see how beautiful it's looking? All right. Now what I'm going to do is to go ahead and stitch this on my sewing machine. So guys, I'm done with stitching this and you can see how it's looking. You can see how neat the inside is looking, guys. Your work should be very, very neat. It is very, very important, okay? Now, the next thing I'm going to do is to turn with my lining. So I'm going to turn my yoke inwards, just like I'm doing. And then I'm going to place my lining on top of everything and I'm going to stitch and turn everything around. So just watch carefully what I'm doing. I'm trying to arrange my lining to fit perfectly with the main fabric. And I'm going to pin from one that side to the other that side, or you can pin from the middle point of your sweetheart neckline to one side and then pin from the middle point to the opposite side as well. That works very well as well. Okay, so you can see I'm pinning this all the way around, and then when I'm done, I'm going to go ahead and stitch this. So guys, I'm going to go over to my sewing machine and stitch this up, and as well stitch the sides as well. So guys, I've gone ahead to turn everything with my lining, and you can see now, remember that at the neckline area you should put in your hemming gum in between your main fabric and your lining and iron it. That way your lining is not going to be showing from the front when you put this clothes on. Okay, it just holds your lining in place behind. Now, guys, for the neckline, as you can see on the style that we are recreating, we also have this lace edge on our sweetheart neckline area. So what I did at first was to fold in the mouth of the lace, and it wasn't really giving me what I wanted. Okay, it was bulky and it wasn't giving me what I wanted. So this was the first attempt that I made, and it wasn't giving me what I wanted. So what I went ahead to do was to cut out that so you can see I have to cut out the mouth of the lace. Okay, so I have to cut out these pointed parts just so that it will have like a straight line at the down parts. Okay, and when I was done, I just liked what it was looking the most, so I had to pin it and sew it. Now, guys, if you want to put your lace in between your main fabric and your lining, you can do that, okay? But when I zoomed into the style that I'm trying to recreate, I could see the color of her fabric showing from the lace, okay? Just like as you can see the color of my fabric showing from this lace. So you can see like my fabric is showing from the lace. I don't know if you understand. So I could see her. So I just thought maybe it was top stitched. All right. I just thought maybe the lace was placed on top like so and top stitched. So I did the same thing for mine. Now, if you want to put in between your lace, in between your lining and your main fabric, you can do that. Now, guys, next thing I'm going to do is to join my upper bodice to the skirt bodice, okay? So please make sure to notch the middle point of your skirt bodice at the waist area and also your upper bodice at the waist area. So I'm going to pin from this middle point to one side. My upper bodice is in between my main skirt fabric and the lining, okay? So I'm pinning from the middle point to the opposite sides. Okay, I'm going to sew on top, I'm going to sew at the sides, I'm also going to sew at the hem area. I'm going to be turning everything out. I'm just going to leave a very small opening by the side where I would turn everything right side out. So guys, I've gone ahead to turn my back pieces with the lining. The next thing I'm going to do as well is to join the upper bodice of the back piece to the skirt bodice of my back piece. Okay, so you can see what I'm doing. I'm placing the back bodice, the upper back bodice in between the main fabric of the skirt and the lining piece of the skirt. And I'm going to join this at the waist area, by the sides, at the hem. And I'm going to leave a very tiny opening by the side where I'll be turning everything right side out. Guys, I'm going to head to turn this right side out. The next thing I'm going to do is to go ahead and fix in my zip. Okay, so I'm just trying to pin my two back pieces together, get it to be like a piece, like one piece. And then the next thing I'm going to do is to mark where my zip is going to stop and also mark where my slit at the back is going to start. And I'm going to just stitch this middle area up. The down part is going to be open for my slit. The upper part is going to be open for my zip where I would join my zip. Okay. So guys, for the upper part, I've gone ahead to join the upper bodice to the skirt bodice, and you can see we are almost having a full gown, okay? So you can see what it's looking like. Guys, can you see the cup area? You can see also that lace part where I joined at the neckline. Everything is looking really nice. I'm going to head to join my zipper to my back pieces. Please make sure to iron these out. Iron your zipper area as well. It is very, very important to iron while you sew, okay? Now, the next thing I'm going to do is to join the back piece to the front piece by the shoulder. So, you know how to join your shoulder so that everything stays inside and very neat. I'm going to be using the back shoulder. I'm going to use it to wrap the front shoulder, okay? It's going to be in between the main fabric of the back and the lining piece of the back. Then I'm going to stitch everything and turn it right side out, okay? So guys, I've gone ahead to join my shoulder, and you can see that I have a bit of excess at the front shoulder. That is because of the adjustments we made in the pattern drafting, okay? Now, it is better for you to have this excess than to have your front armhole going in too much, okay? So you can see everything is well aligned after I cut out the excess. Next thing I'm going to do is to join by the sides. Now, for my sleeve, I'm going to go ahead and cut out my gong sleeve, okay? So I'm trying to fold for the two sleeves. I'm going to be cutting the two sleeves at the same time. So I went ahead to fold. I did the first folding and did the second folding. Now, next thing I'm going to do is to draw a starting line. And then from the starting line, I'm going to mark the length of my sleeve. Now, you can make yours longer. I made mine just 8 inches long. I wish I made mine longer, actually. So, yeah, you can make yours long as 12, 13 inches. It's actually very nice when it's longer. So, I made mine just 8 inches. I'm going to put my hemming allowance using just 1/2 inch because we're going to be using lining to turn this, okay? So just watch carefully at what I am doing. Next thing I'm going to do is to just draw out my armhole curve, as you can see. And then when I'm done, I'm going to go ahead and cut this out. So guys, don't forget to notch the middle point of your sleeve. This helps when you're fixing your sleeve to your clothes, okay? Now, next thing I'm going to do is to cut out my sleeve for my net. I'm using this very stretchy chantilly net, okay? So I'm just going to go ahead and cut out like a full sleeve. This sleeve is going to be having a flay at the wrist part, okay? So I'm going to like rule my starting line, and then I'm going to mark the length of my sleeve. The length of this sleeve is going to be 21. Then from that, at that 21, I'm now going to join the flay, which is going to go all the way down to my fingers, okay? Then I'm going to mark the length of my sleeve. The next thing I'm going to do is to mark from the middle point to 5 inches, all right? This is how I get my armhole curve. From the middle point, you're going to mark 5 inches. And then at that down area, you're going to come down by 3 inches. And then you're going to connect from where you marked 5 inches to where you just marked 3 inches. That's how I get my armhole curve. The next thing I'm doing is to get my wrist round, and I'm going to add extra 1 inch for seam allowance. The next thing I did was to get from my shoulder to my elbow. I'm going to mark my elbow round plus seam allowance, okay? Then the next thing I'm going to do is to connect from my armhole down to my elbow, down to my wrist. This is how you do your freehand cutting for your sleeve. I have a very detailed tutorial on how to go about drafting a sleeve pattern. Please, if you don't know how to draft a sleeve pattern, you can go and watch that tutorial, okay? I think when you understand how to properly use a pattern to draft your sleeve, you can actually do your freehand pattern drafting, and it would still come out very nice when you are done sewing it. So I'm going to be using this to cut out for the second sleeve, okay? When we are done, we are going to go ahead and cut our flay, which we are going to be joining to the length or to the down part of this our sleeve. Now I'm going to head to fold. I'm doing the first folding for my flay, and when I'm done, I'm going to do the second folding as well for my flay. Now I'm going to be taking my wrist round divided by 4 because I folded into 4. So my wrist round is 7 divided by 4. I'm going to get it, and I'm going to mark it just at this upper part, okay? You can see what I have. Then the next thing I'm going to do is to mark from there to the length of my flare. Okay, so I'm making use of 8 inches, and then from there I'm going to mark extra 1 inch for allowance. Then you want to check what you have from the upper pointed part to where you marked initially for your length. What you have, you want to take it all the way around to the other side. This is how you to cut your flare. You can use this method to cut flare for sleeve, for a skirt, for just anything you want to make a flare. You can use this method to cut your flare, okay? Except if you are making like a maxi gown, I have a tutorial on how to cut that on my channel, so you want to go see that. All right, so you can see what I have. This is just for one of the sleeves. I'm going to be using this to cut for the second part, okay? So I'm going ahead to cut the second part, and you can see we have 2 full circles for our flare. I'm going to be slashing this on one side because I want to be joining this from one point to the other to my sleeve. So you can see I'm trying to pin the flare to my sleeve from one part to the other part. So guys, you should have something looking like this when you are done. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is to fuse my gong sleeve with a gum stay. This is going to help you to stand, okay? So you can see what I have. Now you can see with this gum stay, it's going to make it to stand. When you are done with gathering it at the upper part, it will actually stand. So please make sure to use your gum stay on your gong sleeve. Now, if you look at the pattern, at the style you are trying to recreate, we also have this lace edge round the gong sleeve, okay? So you want to put this lace in between your main sleeve and your lining, and then turn everything right side out. So I've gone ahead to do that, and you can see what I have. Please make sure to iron. It is very, very important, so you can see what this is looking like. Next thing you want to do is to mark your armhole round. My armhole round is 16. Then I'm going to get the excess I have. Excess I have there is 6 inches, okay? So I'm marking from the middle point. I'm going to divide that 6 into 2, then mark from middle point to 3 on each side, just so I can have 6 inches in the middle. Now I'm going to be gathering from one point to the other point of this middle, okay? So you can see what I am doing. I'm trying to use my pin to gather it, okay? I'm going to be stitching this on my sewing machine. Now, when you are done with this, next thing you're going to do is to join the sides of your sleeve. All right? So you can see the way mine is looking. Please, you can make yours longer. Mine came out really short, and I wish I made mine longer. When I'm done with that, I'm going to go ahead and join by the sides on my sewing machine as well. And also for your chantilly, please make sure to join the flare past the main sleeve, and then also as well join by the sides. Now when you are done, you are going to join your gong sleeve to your chantilly or your net sleeve together, just like so. Pin from the middle point round all the way around. Make sure that they are both aligning very well. When you are done with this, you are going to join it like so to your main fabric, okay? It is not so easy to join because of the whole gum stay and everything, but it is doable. All right, so I'm done with pinning this together, and you can see what it's looking like. The next thing I did was to join to my main fabric, and this is what I have. I am done with making this beautiful dress. You can see what it's looking like. So guys, do not forget to please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please like this video, comment down below any questions that you have, all right? This is what it's looking like on my body. You can see how short my sleeves are, but I think it's still nice. All right guys, see you on the next one. Bye.